Tattooing is an unrecognized art form that has existed since well into the beginning of humanity. It is our outlet of personal passion through suffering, where in the end we feel vindicated and whole. Tattooing has persevered through decades of stigmas, prohibitions, and black-eyed reputations, not just in Western cultures, but in all cultures. However, in most recent years, tattooing has surged in popularity. Eventually, the stereotypes of people with tattoos will fade along with all the other forms of racism and segregation. Well, maybe humanity will have to work a little harder, but that's the goal, right? I have always had an interest in tattooing, and when I got my first one in high school, it started the fever. Tattoo fever is a real addiction, but without the doctors and medicines. After a few weeks, you start craving the sound of tuhibiki, and then you begin plotting your next tattoo. Tattoo artists and clients build a relationship of trust. The trust of me commissioning them to create art on my skin, matched with the artist's confidence in the professionalism of their work. This has existed since the beginning, and within all cultures. The traditional Japanese horishi may spend weeks getting to know a client before deciding whether or not the client will be tattooed. Horishis are careful of who they tattoo, and will turn clients away if the relationship is not positive. Something more Western clients should think about when choosing an artist. It's not just about how great of an artist they are. The style that I am drawn to most is Japanese, and I have always wanted to get a single-arm design, which in the West we would think of as a serious tattoo. But the horishi would call this a single-arm omission, and would not be taken seriously at all. The horishi says, "Go big or go home." So I started with a forearm piece, and apparently I am working backwards. I was told that most people start at the top and work downwards, but I wanted this design on my forearm, so on with the show. I found a painting on the internet, and it was exactly what I was looking for. There was a lot of symbolism in this piece. First being that I have always felt connected to the samurai, especially their code of honor and inner self. Second, the fact that the samurai is fighting a snake represents me fighting myself, because I was born in the year of the snake, and I have always had an inner conflict with snakes. It's my attempt to win an inner battle. And finally, I wanted to get this tattooed on my forearm because it was me extending myself to others, either with acceptance or suspicion. So I knew what I wanted and why, but I still needed an incredible artist to pull off this intricate piece. I checked out a lot of different places and surprisingly got differing answers, which I couldn't understand. With a surging popularity, wasn't there a common practice established and used by tattooists across the board? One that was regulated and oversaw by government officials? Some kind of protective measures to regulate the constant flow of clients and use of needles that have had contact with blood? Most artists are scheduled weeks and months in advance, and unlike the horishi, some are tattooing indiscriminately and carelessly. So wouldn't the government want to protect the public from the potential of a serious outbreak of blood-borne diseases such as Hep C? I needed art and I needed answers, so this is where the quest begins. Sideshow Tattoos and Piercing in Georgetown, Ontario.